Welcome to Alpha Wolf Impact Club channel. I'm Tim Weintraut, and this is where we shine a light on small companies with big ideas. Our mission here is crystal clear. We want to identify, support, and champion game changers. Those companies that are tackling massive challenges, revolutionizing industries, saving lives, or making us more efficient. For example, today you're going to meet Dr. Bhaskar from FatPipe. FatPipe offers patented advanced data communication software that securely connects offices and clouds into one cohesive network. Put simply, FatPipe aggregates multiple data lines from multiple data carriers using any last mile connection, including 5G and satellite, into a single seamless corporate network accessible anywhere in the world. This is an impact company, and that is called SD-WAN. And I'm going to let Dr. Bhaskar tell you more about that in just a moment. This is not to be taken as investment advice. I am not a certified financial planner. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. I encourage everyone to do their own due diligence. All right. Hey, everybody. Tim from Alpha Wolf Capital coming at you with a brand new company. One that is technical in nature, but I think is definitely making some waves. I think the chart has had a recent breakout and is pulling back right now on some lower volume, which is something you want to see after a chart has a breakout. But it has taken out its long term trend, and that is one of the most dominant trends. So this one I think is worth putting on your radar because I think this could be the story could be just beginning. And we have Dr. Bhaskar here to uh, tell us the story of FatPipe. And if you could, I would love you to just kind of do two things for me. Explain how you got here and why, and then what does FatPipe do?
Good morning, Tim. Hope all is well with you in Las Vegas. We are excited to be on your show. I've heard quite a bit about your show, so we are excited that we are able to be on this podcast. So, to answer your first question, how did we get here? We saw a big need for mission critical networks uh, in a very low cost manner for a company or an institution, how to deploy this anywhere in the world in a low cost manner. And that's how FatPipe was born. FatPipe essentially takes multiple data lines from, say, Verizon, AT&T, Comcast, and we combine them into one single network without any programming, without any cooperation of the ISPs, which means from an end user perspective, they can deploy a network anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world with the lowest cost providers and still have a 99.999% network reliability. And that's the beauty of our product. And we invented this technology. It's called SD-WAN, Software Defined Wide Area Network.
Okay, SD-WAN. All right, so now that is a common thing I see all the time, right? So you invented that.
Yes, sir.
That's impressive. Right? And that is what enables all of this stuff to work through basically one pipe. Is
Yes.
right? Okay. Okay.
And what we do is, in case one line goes down, in a sub-second, like 100 milliseconds to 50 milliseconds, we can fail over that network and the traffic on, say, AT&T to a Verizon. And in the process, not have you drop your VPN or any of your data flow. We keep it all alive.
Wow. That's impressive. So how long is the technology? How long have you had that technology?
We have been developing this technology since 1998, believe it or not. And
Wow.
every year or two, we always add more new features, more new technology. So it's an evergreen product because things in networking change all the time. And we have been changing ahead of the network. Our philosophy, Tim, is that we need to be able to predict network needs, technology needs of the customer before the customer realizes the need, before the customer feels the pain. We should have a solution. And that is exactly what we have been doing, which leads me to the next new products that we have released in cybersecurity. And if I may flash a graphic that shows
Absolutely.
what we do and how we differentiate ourselves. Uh, Let me go back to the screen. Sorry. Um, so this is the technology that we invented. Give me a second. This
Okay.
is the technology we came up with. 38% of small and medium businesses have a hard time dealing with cybersecurity. It's a very complex subject. There's a lot of things that are dynamic, changing every day, and it befuddles people unless they have a CISO for security and specialist for security. Most medium businesses cannot afford that. Here's how others do, and where they have multiple services from multiple providers, and the customer has to put it all together for his network, subscribe to five different people in addition to the networking needs. The problem with that is it's a little too complex. So what we did was we took all these features, the entire cybersecurity needs, we call it FatPipe Total Security 360. We combined it into one single stack, as we call it in networking. Every service that you need, every service you can imagine is in a single stack. So now on a single screen, you can see all your networking needs, all your cybersecurity needs. And if you're in the business of compliance like HIPAA, PCI, which many of the bigger companies need, it's all in a single stack. And what does a customer get? The customer gets everything in a package. This is important for network managers, IT directors in small and medium companies who cannot afford a large phalanx of employees in the IT department. That is what we are doing. We are bringing mission critical networking along with high mission critical cybersecurity. That's our basic product offering, networking and cybersecurity.
So, what are you concerned at all about quantum computers?
Our quantum computers is more on the computing side. This is more on the customer premise and customer cloud solutions for the customer. But
Okay.
in the world of AI, quantum computing is going to make big changes in terms of reducing the cost of computing.
Okay. So that you wouldn't be concerned about cybersecurity from a quantum computing standpoint because
Uh, you may see more and more attacks. I think you're on to a good point. You will see more and more attacks generated from self-service computers that are attacking. It's even more important then to have a very solid single stack solution that can look at all these different attacks coming from the network perimeter, from employees inside the company, and put it all together into a single, simple solution with a quick reaction to the problems. And so, yes, as more and more attacks happen, there's a bigger need for a product. One of the VPs at a large content delivery company said, you guys have a very evergreen product because there's a constant need for mission critical networking and a constant need for cybersecurity.
okay. And what was your background before you got involved with this?
I was a professor of engineering. I taught a number of subjects. I also have a master's in finance. So I have a combination of finance. I also have a master's in operations research, which basically focuses on efficiencies of processes. So I do have an engineering background, an operations research master's, and a PhD, all in 6 years.
Wow. That's you're a bit you're kind of a go-getter,
Thank you for saying that.
huh? You're welcome. All right, so how is the company in general? How many shares outstanding do you have fully diluted?
We have 13.9 million shares approximately, all
Okay.
common shares. We do not have any warrants or any other financial instruments tied to the company, just all common shares.
Okay. So you've got a very small, I would call that a small amount of shares outstanding. Anything under 100 million, I would call that small, right? Now that can work wonders when you have a really good news announcement because there's just not that many shares out there to trade. All right. Do you have anybody that covers you?
We are working with three different analysts who are preparing, and we are submitting the models that they need to prepare with. So yes, within hopefully in the next 3 months or 4 months, we should have three different analysts covering the stock.
What's the size of the market, the opportunity for you?
The opportunity predict $5 billion now and up to $22 billion in the next 5 years. So it's a big market for the networking side of our business. And for cybersecurity, probably 50 to 100 billion market. We're not trying to compete with the CrowdStrikes of the world. What we want to do is offer a niche where, because we have our own hardware, if you will, at the perimeter of the customer, we are trying to focus on that market where we can add additional services to our current customers and to customers who are going to buy our product in the future for networking. So
Okay.
we are carving our own niche. For instance, if you read networking, competitors in networking, you are the Ciscos of the world, the Junipers of the world, and we are not trying to compete with them. They serve the big market, big customers, and we are trying to focus on the mid market. And we have 13 patents, so we have a lot of unique technology, and we focus on providing technology to those customers where those technologies are very important for their function, like mission critical networking, or where they have branches that need cybersecurity, but reaching out to a provider takes a lot of latency, jitter, waiting in queue. So we are trying to service this market that is critical for medium and smaller customers. We have about 2,800 customers, if you will. So we have a big, strong base of customers in networking. We are adding about 100 to 200 customers a quarter, and we want to be able to service those customers.
So what when you look at the company and you think 5 years out, what is the vision that you have for the company?
Um, Without being a projecting any numbers to the market, my dream is to make it $100 million company, but that's my dream. This is not a projection.
I mean, I don't think that that's an unreasonable goal, right?
Yeah, yeah. We are headed in that direction. If you don't mind, I can share
Sure.
my map. This is our sales growth strategy. This is a little complex, but essentially what it says is we have current customers whose contracts roll over every 3 years. We have new products like our cybersecurity product. We are also coming up with another new product by the end of next quarter. We also have sales team expansion. So as we add more salespeople in different US markets, to give you perspective, before the IPO, we had 8 to 10 salespeople on the field, covering all of the customers in the US. We already went to 20 salespeople at the end of last week. And our goal is by the end of the year, be 25 to 27 salespeople. So essentially, we would have doubled our sales team in just 1 year. And
Okay.
we can add more salespeople, but we want to remain profitable. So we want to grow in a measured manner. But also we have customers where we are upselling cybersecurity. So that should add more sales to our current customers and give our salespeople the opportunity to sell multiple products to the same customer and the same channel.
On the customers that you're adding 100 a month or a quarter, is that what you said? 100 quarter?
Yeah, last quarter was 170 plus.
Okay. So what's the average size per deal? Is it vary significantly?
Yeah, it varies, but I would imagine somewhere close to about 10,000 a customer typically for a 3 year contract. Typical. I mean, don't hold me to it because these numbers change every quarter.
Right. Yeah. I'm just trying to. And what are the margins on that?
Our margin so far last year was 93%. This year it's 94%. We are a software company, so the margins are consistent with a software company.
Right. So software as a service, which I happen to love that model because it's a very predictable model, right?
It is predictable. One of the things we are looking at is all of sales that we report to the SEC and the market are new contracts and new customers and renewals. One of the things that we want to do is also start coming up with a plan to tell the market what is our recurring revenue billings, right? And that we find is a very nicely growing stepwise function. And that is something we plan to also release to the market because analysts love to see the consistent, predictable growth.
Yeah, that's the key, right?
Yep.
High margins don't hurt. How about debt? How are you on debt?
That you said?
Debt, yeah.
That we have an SBA loan for 5 million. I think it's around 4.5 million now, approximately. That was a loan. It's a 10-year loan. Doesn't affect operations. It's a monthly payment plan. Relatively low interest. So that's the only debt we have, and we covered that with our current operations.
Okay. So don't have to worry about a big debt burden. You've got positive cash flow, or
Yes.
you're profitable.
Now, yep. Now we are profitable, and we also started having positive cash flow. That, of course, fluctuates on a month-by-month basis based on collections. But yes, we always want to be positive cash flow on the border of that.
How do customers find you?
We have more. We have signed more than 500 partners in America. Big names like CDW, AT&T, Insight, your local partners in different parts of the states. We work through partners. So partners bring their customers. We service those partners. We also do marketing to various end users. And when those show an interest, we take it to a partner to close. The advantage of that is we end up leveraging about 9,000 salespeople these partners have, actually more than that. So it gives us the benefit of, as a small company, to grow without having high costs of direct sales.
Okay. Which I think is another great model, right?
That model has worked for a number of companies that service the mid and SMB market.
And I would imagine that those partners that you have are very pleased with you and your product.
We
Yes?
are fortunate. Yeah, we have partners since 2006. And we were not able to serve. We don't imagine when you have a potential group of 8,000 or 9,000 people being serviced by 8 people. That is not enough. That's not a high touch. So as we add more and more salespeople in the field, we are increasing that touch, which means we can get more and more of their sales teams activated by FatPipe training.
How solid is your technology in terms of its your ability to protect it?
Yeah, we have 2.7 million lines of code in our product, backed by 13 patents. In fact, we have more lines of code in our product than the F-35 fighter jet helmet has, which has only about 1.35 million lines of code. That gives you an idea of the sophistication of our technology. The 13 patents have about 150 to 180 claims in it. And nowadays, what we find is we do a lot of innovation, but we don't have to publish it in the form of a patent because it's embedded in the code. It does things in the background in terms of improving the performance of the product or having new features, but we don't need to publish that information. So we do a lot of innovation, but we don't talk about it anymore publicly. How we do it.
And there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
How does AI impact your business?
AI, we have two components. One is we do something called machine language, which is a subset of AI. Our delivery of data packets across the spectrum is very deterministic. We look at jitter, latency, hops, and everything else. So there, it's a machine learning process where the machine learns what is the fastest path to deliver a packet from, say, San Francisco to New York or to London. So there we apply the concepts of AI. The other place where we have AI now is in support database management. Customers, we have a big treasure trove of customer calls, customer issues, and we have converted that into an AI platform so that when a customer calls, we now can quickly answer the question by diagnosing the problem really fast. And that's driven on the background by AI. The new thing that we are working on is self-healing networks. We are applying the concepts of AI, that all the concepts we learned in customer support for the customer's network to be self-healing, which means if something is going wrong in the network, we should be able to make an intelligent decision as to how we are going to heal that network to bring it and restore it. So that's the next project we are working on.
That's awesome.
And again, in cybersecurity, again, there's a lot of AI involved. We are working to see how we can enhance the network performance or the security performance as we add more AI into our products. And those things are coming out online in the next several quarters.
So when you say mid-sized business, like who would be an ideal candidate? I mean, if anybody's watching this show, watching this right now, who would you say you should appeal to? Who should be taking down your number and saying, I need to call these guys and see what they can do for me?
Typically, mid market is $2 billion in sales or less.
Okay.
And typical customers would be in the $500 million range. But we have, like I said, we also go down to the smaller business level. That could be a 10, 20, $50 million company. We have a number of law firms. We have quite a few cities, a lot of cities around the country that run our network. We have counties, we have banks, you name it. We have a number of transportation companies, some very big names. So we work the spectrum of technology, spectrum of the economy, including hospitals.
Right. That's another one, right?
Yeah.
Would you say that your product is, I mean, I know it's important everywhere, but rural area,
Uh-huh.
is that, do you provide
Yeah.
an advantage for rural area?
There's a reason why rural people need it. Uh, Quality of the network is really, oftentimes it's subjective, right? They
Yeah.
don't have the best providers. They have a higher failure rate. So we came up with this technology called SAT Boost, which also applies to 5G networks or LTE networks. We have come up with a technology where we can take these satellite connections, which is starting to increase, and we can make them perform better. This is an example. The red thing that you see here is an example of a customer who has very dominant satellite company, and we can take that output and triple it, even
Wow.
for compressed data packets. And it's a large file. Those during a cloudy situation or when they have high packet loss, that they're not able to transmit the entire file. It fails. We are able to transmit it. So that's where we shine. In fact, this gives you another extreme example. In the in Europe, the European Space Agency, University of Oxford, Virgin, and Hispasat selected FatPipe over all the other networking companies. This again, we shine in different market segments. We are able to fail you over from different satellites, whether it's LEO, MEO, or GEO. Sorry about those terms. But we can fail you over in 50 milliseconds to 100 milliseconds, which means you could have vehicles, you could have hospitals, you could have mission critical services in these regions where you don't get the best connections, and we can make it work for you.
Interesting.
Between the switching technology and the other proprietary technology, we are able to provide you network reliability and speed.
So how are you sitting on cash?
We have what 7.5 million in the bank. It's growing, so we are sitting okay, and we are not burning cash.
Okay. If there's one thing that you would want potential investors or your current investors to know,
Uh-huh.
what would that be?
We think long term. We are always developing new technology. We are always opening new markets. We are investing. We reinvest in the company all the time. We have never given a dividend. We haven't taken out profits. So I want you to think long term. Many of my investors all have been thinking long term. We have some very famous names who are investors in this company. And so when you invest in FatPipe, think long term. Management has about 50%. Insiders have about 50% of the company. So we have a very vested interest in the long-term performance of the company. And so that's what I would like you to think about.
It, this is global. This isn't just U.S., right? I mean, you should go international, right? I mean, this is
We, we can go international, but because we are a small company and we haven't even populated all the major tier one NFL cities, my next focus for the next 2 years is focus on America. It's a
okay.
good market, a big market. And then I have footprints in India and in a couple of other countries. I will be adding people there, but 95% of my business is the US. It's a much more capital efficient deployment of our sales resources.
Okay. Um, any particular near term catalyst that you feel could be impactful for the share price?
Yeah, the cybersecurity products, we just released it last quarter, and we started marketing it this quarter. We are noticing a good a ticket price for these products. People, and by the way, our cybersecurity products, they don't cost you $15 a month per person. They don't cost you $36. They cost you, they're cheaper than a price of a latte in Starbucks. For a price of a latte, we are able to protect each of your employee uh, ev- per month. So for
Okay.
$6 to $8 a month, we are able to give you complete protection, network penetration protection, cyber security, as well as compliance. So that's a very cost-effective price, and that appeals to a lot of people. And we are finding that the quotations that we send out to customers, they're about 2 to 3 times the price of our networking products. So we feel very happy about that, that we expect to see some good performance out of the cybersecurity product. And it's very well received, if I may say so.
Okay. Um, I'm trying to think of what else I want to. What haven't I asked that I should have asked?
No, you obviously are a very seasoned interviewer. You have asked all the questions that I would ask if I were sitting in front of that bull.
Okay. I think so. What do you think? What do you think the company needs in order for you to get? Because here's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at high margin, consistent. How sticky? Just out of curiosity, you've been in business for how long?
20 plus years.
Okay. How sticky are you? I mean, what's the
We have customers who have been with me for 10, 15 years, some
okay?
of them from 2008.
Yeah.
Now that we have more feet on the street, that'll be even more sticky because we are in front of customers. So we are very happy that we have had long-term customers for a very long time. There are a number of cities in California, number of counties in North Carolina, a number of cities in Florida who have been using FatPipe for 10 plus years. Um, I wish I could name those cities, but obviously I can't. But there are a lot of long-term customers.
Do you get a lot of that? Do you get a lot of customers that prefer you not to announce that
We,
you're
yeah,
working with them?
we do that for security reasons. People don't need to know where our products are deployed.
Hmm.
That is part of our security posture for our customers. The best way to not get attacked is the people don't know where you are, right?
That's a good thing, and I can see how it could be a challenging thing for you from the investment community, right?
We,
Because especially with retail investors, because they want you to put out a press release with a new customer just about every day. And you can't do that, obviously. And a lot of times the customers would prefer that you didn't.
yes.
And when you have that case, uh, it gets frustrating, especially if the stock isn't going anywhere or if it's in the downward trend, right?
But you give me a
Then it
good
becomes
point.
really frustrating.
Yeah. Actually, you gave me a good point. What I'm going to do is probably do press release without naming the customer, right? I can do that all day long. Every type, yes.
Yeah, I mean, in
I
that,
can do that, buddy.
it-
Every, yeah.
yeah,
You
that's
know,
it. I mean, look, that at least makes them see there's something happening over there, right?
okay, I heard you, and I'm going to start next week.
All right, perfect. Let's see. So I want to talk to you about the chart real quick, and maybe you
Uh-huh.
can help me understand why you just had this big. So you went. When did you go public? You went public in
April 8th.
April 8th. Okay.
Mhm.
So now, if I gotta move my bull out of the way. Hold on a second here. Oops. No. Oh, there we go. All right. So let me get rid of this line here. Oh, let's see. Okay. All right. So if you look at this chart, right, it's easy to see how when you went public, you had a nice spike, and then it's really since then it's been going from the upper left to the lower right. Now, that's the long-term trend. And it's really, you had a lot of volume in the beginning when you first listed, and then the volume kind of dried up and went away, right? And then recently here, you had this massive volume spike. And that was what, September
This week.
19th and 18th?
Yep, yep, yep.
Okay. And what was that spike for?
Good question. By the way, to let you know, we have only 400,000 shares floating.
Okay.
So there wasn't a lot of shares. And once we got on the micro cap 1000 and the Russell's 3000 extended, a lot of those shares got bought up by institutions.
Okay.
We
There
have
you go.
companies like BlackRock and others who have started buying them up. And many of them are accumulating anytime the shares come up. We are expecting more shares to come out in next couple of weeks when the lockup agreement for pre-IPO shareholders are expiring. I did talk to a number of my long-term investors. They don't plan to sell because of the excessive capital gains. Some of my investors bought the shares at 20 cents and 25 cents, and they want to keep them long term simply because they don't want to pay taxes on cap gains. So, but I do hope that some shares will come. And when those shares come, we should see more liquidity in the market and more normal trading. Right now, shares are like 10 shares and 20 shares. To answer the second question, why there was a spike, I haven't got a clue. I think I did. Oh, by the way, it could be because I did a road show the week prior in
Okay.
New York City. I met with 22 different investment managers, including making a presentation before the Harvard Investment Club. So there was that activity level. My thinking is that could have, my feeling is all these presentations to different 22 different money managers could have triggered them to start buying FatPipe stock. And when they buy a stock and there's very little float, things obviously ramp very fast. But our goal is by next 2 weeks, we should see more consistent float, more consistent liquidity. And as more institutions start picking them up, we should see a steady, healthy trading profile. And again, as we publish our recurring revenue model and the numbers associated with that. Analysts will see that we are a consistently growing company, and we have a good ARR model, and they'll price it to the usual 10 to 15 times, 10 to 15 times the ARR model, and then hopefully they should see a good spike.
Okay. So if I look at, so I'm actually a fundamental guy, but I could never understand what looking at a chart was going to do to help me understand where a stock was going to go.
Uh-huh.
Then I took a charting course like I don't know 17 years ago, and now it's the first thing I look at. The reason I look at it is because if you can find a good fundamental story and you can match it with a good technical setup, then I would say your odds of success in the trade increases, right?
Yep.
So what you've done is you have taken that long trend line, which is the longer the trend line, the more powerful it is, right? Which means you need something of equal or greater force to break that trend,
Yes.
which you have done, right? You pop through it, and now you're pulling back on lower volume. But what I'm seeing is so you've got it's this is not accidental that it's actually finding some support here right around what is that $6.50 right in that area because you have a lot of congestion there. You have a lot of touch points, and I'm just going to show you there. So if you have look, if everything continues to go in the right direction, you've now hired more salespeople, which means they should be out there bringing in more deals, right? All of that stuff should equate to rising revenue. Rising revenue should equate to rising share price, right?
Yes. Yep.
And now that you've broken that long-term trend, I don't like to see stocks go straight up because that usually means they're going to come straight back down, right? What you want to see is healthy stair stepping action, right? So you have a good quarter, you get a nice little pop out of that. That, the market absorbs that. It lets the stock breathe a little bit. You build up some more energy and you get that next, whatever that catalyst is going to be that moves it higher, right? And you
Mhm.
just keep stair stepping. So what I'm looking at is you have the trend from the upper left to the lower right. This could be the very beginning of a trend from the lower right to the upper or lower left to the upper right, right? So I think I think the timing is good. You've got a brand new product that's coming out. It doesn't sound like it's cost prohibitive to your customer base. So it should be maybe a pretty, you said it was already well received. I
Yes.
would have to imagine it doesn't sound like it's just insanely for a little added protection. Why wouldn't they do that,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So new product, and you got other new products that are coming out. How new is the satellite thing?
The satellite product has already been completed. We haven't launched it yet.
Okay.
We're talking to various partners who have expressed an interest in looking at the technical aspects of deployment, etc. We haven't done a full launch yet because we are busy with the cybersecurity launch.
Okay.
So we want to, it's hard when you hit partners with too many products, they get confused. So we want to do one whole quarter of cybersecurity launch. Then we have a different market segment for satellites, which, like you said, is remote and different set of partners. So we need to allocate resources to do that for the next quarter.
What could go wrong?
If the economy tanks, if something goes wrong to a recession, then it'll slow down business. That's going to affect everybody.
Okay. So that really would be the one thing that could put a monkey wrench in your plan.
The good thing is we have a good solid base of customers who tend to be long term. The new products like the cybersecurity products we're releasing is going to the current customer base initially, right? Because that's the lowest cost way of getting more sales. So we have enough of customers that we can convert to adding more cybersecurity, and that should see a big increase in revenues as we deploy them.
If on the flip side, if you have a bunch of companies that are now reestablishing themselves for manufacturing in the United States, that would be a positive thing for you.
That would be a positive, but considering the size of the US economy and the number of manufacturing companies reshoring or onshoring, that would be a smaller number. Uh, so, from our marketing perspective, we are not even in six NFL cities. I want to be in 30 NFL cities. I see much bigger growth from that existing market, which have not penetrated. That is the reality.
Okay. Okay. So there's a lot out there for you to get.
Yeah, yeah, it's a pretty big market.
Okay. All right. Is there anything that you feel as though I have missed?
You've done a great job of asking all the right questions. We would like people to take a look at the stock. When you see the dip, obviously, as they say in the market, it's an opportunity to acquire and accumulate stock. So we are excited about opportunities for people to be able to pick up fat pipe.
So you've got a couple of things that are on the horizon. You've got some coverage that is in the works,
Mhm.
right? You've got a new product that's hitting the streets. You've got new salespeople that are hitting the streets. Um, the stock itself technically has broken out. There's a lot of positive things here. I'm not seeing a lot of negatives. So I guess when I'm always looking at something, I'm saying, okay, what's my risk reward, right? The risk is, well, you go down, you drop back down to what looks to be the floor in the stock, which is somewhere around, actually,
It's floating around 650, 675. It picks up,
the
but
lowest you've ever been is down around 550, right? Right around
yes,
there.
yeah,
So that is, I mean, that's a big time floor, right? I mean, that's like a big time floor. So you're very close to what I would say is the bottom that has been put in for the stock. So how high has it gone? It's gone up to
22,
you know that
23.
number right off the top of your head, don't you?
That was a great day, by the way. We felt, uh, I think in this year, FatPipe is one of the few stocks that went up 400% the opening day. So we feel very proud of that.
Yeah, and you should be. By all rights, you should be. Now you're building your brand, you're becoming known, right? That takes time. So, but as long as you continue to execute, it'll come. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it will come, right? And I think like I said, you have started that trend. You have 13.9 million shares. Is that what it is?
yep. Uh, Out of that, only 400, about 400 is floating today. Not even
That's
400 is floating.
400,000 is floating.
Not quite actually, because many of the money managers have bought them up. So the float is very like 11,000, 15,000.
Yeah,
I'm hoping in the next few weeks it'll go to 50, 60,000 or 100,000 a day.
that'll help.
Yep.
That will help if some shares free up. But you can't blame your people for not wanting to sell them, right? I mean,
Some of them will, but talking to individuals, a lot of them are just holding off.
yeah, okay, all right.
I
If
think,
so, if you need network service, then this would be somebody I would highly recommend you at least check them out, right?
yep.
And if you check them out and this is something people always forget. If you check them out and you like the product and service that they provide you, buy the stock. Because if you're happy with the product and service, odds are other people are happy with the product and service. And that would mean that probably the share price will appreciate over time. So you kind of get paid back for being a customer of FatPipe, right?
Yep. And in the independent surveys by different agencies, 97% or something like that said they will renew the product. And the most recent survey, 97% said they will recommend FatPipe to others. So the recommendation rate is above 95%. The people who said they will renew is more than 95%. So customers obviously like our product. And we have been rated number one for product and number one for support in different surveys. So we do take care of our customers.
And that is, I think that, so it's another way that your customers actually can support you is by buying the shares of your company, right? Buying the shares of your stock. And if you continue to perform well, they benefit as well. I mean, it's a win-win for everybody, right? Is I guess what I'm trying to say,
Yes,
right?
you're most correct.
Yeah. Okay. I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed the conversation, and I am absolutely going to keep an eye on the stock. When should we have when should we have a follow up?
Uh, Probably in about 6 months, I think we should have a follow up. Then
We're going to do it sooner than that.
we can see all
Okay.
the things that
And
are
here's
happening.
why. If you want to build your brand, you got to get your name out there and get in front of investors more often. Okay. So we're not going to wait 6 months. We're going
Okay.
to wait. When do you think the satellite thing will roll out?
Sometime next quarter.
Okay, so
And
that's what we're going to do. When you
yeah,
get ready to roll out your satellite, so that you can explain what it is, right? That's when we'll do our follow up.
perfect. Perfect timing. So that'll be the next 3 months we should do it. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, thank you so much for coming in and doing this. If you don't have anything else you want to say, I'm going to go ahead and shut it off.
Thank you so much, Tim. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to the Fat Pipe story and talking about it to your audience. I really appreciate that.
Well, it was my pleasure. All right, hold on a second. I'm going Thank to you for turn this tuning off. in to another CEO interview here at Alpha Wolf Capital. Today we had Dr. Bashkar from FatPipe. I hope you enjoyed today's interview, and if you did, do us a favor, give us a like. How about give us a share? And while you're at it, make sure you smash that subscribe button. All of those things are extremely important to us here at Alpha Wolf Capital, and we appreciate you taking the time to do that. Until next time, stay safe. Alpha Wolf Capital wishes you the very best of success.